Hello, so I've literally just been to the cinema to watch Superman, and yesterday I went to the cinema to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, I don't really know if people care about my opinions on either of these films, but I'm actually going to talk about, I only wrote stuff down for Superman because I was going to talk about that one, but I may as well just sprinkle in some I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, for me, I Know What You Did Last Summer, my favourite character was Teddy. Now I don't really remember any of the actors' names, but literally like the last 4 days, I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer on what day is it today? On Monday, like the original one, you know, the 1997 I think it was. But I watched that one, and then I watched the I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. So I was really annoyed in both of those. I've been tweeting about it, but I was really annoyed at both of those. The fact that, not annoyed, but I loved both of them, but the fact that both times Ray kind of wasn't really involved in the first one, because obviously it was made to make us think that he was the killer, right, at first, and then obviously we knew that it wasn't because he gets knocked out straight after that by the actual killer. But obviously in the second one he gets run over and stuff, and then his friend dies, right? And then in the new one, obviously, spoilers, he is literally the killer. I think the only way that they could have made that actually make sense was if they made him the killer for one of the reasons that he made, which was the fact that the town, people, the whatever Teddy's dad's name was, the mayor, whatever, and the chief and all them lot, the police and everything, everybody was basically covering it up, right? So it makes sense in a way that he would be annoyed about it, especially because it looks like throughout all of the films, and because I've only just watched all of them, I know this, he never left. After these murders, right, he was always there. He always stayed. So obviously he would see this town the most, the village, the town, whatever you want to call it, you know. He was always looking. Obviously some time went by, 20 years or whatever you want to, more than 20 years, but obviously Julie and Ray did not have a relationship that stayed, you know what I mean? So it makes sense that he would have gone back again to his life with the boats and everything, and then he would have because I take both the first films, right, I take the very ending part of both of the films as a dream sequence, because obviously in both of them they are kind of in a dream world type thing, where they're kind of in the first one it's a shower scene where she gets a note, right, and it's about a party, but then she gets I think she gets something written on the window or the mirror or something when she gets back into the actual showers, because all the steam is there, and then he flies at you. So obviously she would technically be dead, but then she's in the second one, so obviously she's not dead. And then at the end of the second one, it does the same thing, but it's them living in a house together, being all happy, you know. So that probably doesn't actually happen in reality. And it's actually just her having a nightmare type thing, maybe. I think both of the endings are a nightmare, and then obviously in this new movie it's we get to see the girl from the second one all over again, but she's obviously grown up like everybody else, and it's honestly, it was amazing, because throughout the second film I kept thinking it was her, you know what I mean? I kept thinking she was the one that was you know, I forgot what her name is in the film, but she obviously survived. She was the only one that survived other than Julie and Ray. So it made sense that she would be at least a cameo in this. But it is kind of annoying that Ray is dead. They could have kept him alive, you know what I mean? I don't know why they had to kill him off. It's kind of annoying. They even got, one of the scenes I absolutely loved was when they had Sarah Michelle Gellar. I literally couldn't tell if she was not AI, but I couldn't even tell if she was if they'd put her old face, her 1997 face on her because she looked she looked so like it. Oh my god, I don't know how to explain this to make it sound nice, but like she looks kind of old now, you know what I mean? Like she looks like herself, but she looks old. But she did not look old in that part, in that scene, you know what I mean? In that scene of the movie, she did not look like she'd aged. Now I don't know if it was like the camera, if they edited her face. As I say, I don't know if they put her old face onto herself to make her obviously younger or what. I don't know what they did, but like she looked amazing, you know. And that was one of my favorite scenes though. But my favorite character was Teddy, and I was kind of annoyed that he died, but I was happy the fact that he actually put up the most fight, you know what I mean? Because obviously Milo didn't really have a chance. Like he literally just got strangled and he couldn't really help, like he couldn't really get out of that, you know what I mean? Like there was no way to actually save himself, so he was just dead for real. Obviously they took the car so that she would think that, you know, he was just leaving, but stress. So that could have been Steve. I've been trying to work out as well, because obviously I watched the film yesterday. I was trying to work out in my head which kills were Ray and which kills were Stevie, but I feel like I don't know if they had this script ready from the start. Like I don't know if they knew that it was going to be Stevie and Ray for sure, because some of the kills make no sense. Like who would some of the kills have been? Like obviously the most obvious one is the one where Stevie's at the door and there's the killer killing what's that girl's name? The girl who was like interested in all the like lore of the town, right? But I worked it out as well. The reason why she died, because obviously Ray's whole thing is about the fact that like nobody took it seriously, right? Nobody took it seriously because like the actual deaths of his friends and everything, they were all made to look like suicides essentially, or like you know, like they'd have drug problems or something. So those deaths were obviously really irritating for him, and that's why he, you know, went down the wrong path. Like Julie always left the town, right? She never stayed, so it makes sense that she didn't go crazy. But he stayed there, and he was like, he would have been looking at everything and thinking like, this is where these people died, right? And it was just awful. It's awful, like, to think about it. But obviously, what was I trying to say? Yeah, so her death, I forgot her name, but she died in the same place as Sarah Michelle. Like her, I think her name was Helen in the movie, right? But her sister died there. She was supposed to die there, but then she obviously ran away. Like he was trying to kill her there at the time. But obviously this girl died there, but she kept saying like she's a fan of this guy, right? And I think that was the issue, because like obviously he when you really think about it, like he wasn't like, you're not supposed to be a fan of the killer, right? Like that wasn't his goal. The goal, like that's why he still killed her, right? Because people were thinking like, why did she have to die if this was his motive? But it makes sense, because he didn't want to be he's not technically wanting to be the killer, right? He's kind of imitating the killer because no one's taking it seriously, and everybody's going to be taking it seriously now because all these people are dead. But I do kind of wish that Ray would have just been like put in jail or something, you know, rather than like, and then he could escape in the next movie or something. Like I kind of wish that he wasn't dead, you know what I mean? That's kind of irritating, but like we know that Stevie's alive. But honestly, the two girls that survived as well, like that's fine, you know. I just kind of wish it was like Stevie, no, not Stevie. I just kind of wish that it was like the main those two girls, but as well, I kind of wish that he survived, right? Teddy. I kind of wish that like he got away and then it was his dad that died instead of him, you know what I mean? I kind of wish that he had got into the house and the dad had like the killer had like rang the doorbell, he got into the house, and then the dad died. Like that would have been way better, you know what I mean? Like I kind of wish that would have been the case, because I kind of wanted Teddy to last. Like with Milo as well, I kind of think they dropped the ball on him, because a lot of people didn't even care about him. They thought that he was boring and stuff, and I thought he was fine. Like I thought he was a fine character. I just think he didn't have really anything about him, you know what I mean? like, I think that's the issue. Like, a lot of other people, we kind of saw their, like, personalities, and I guess his personality was just, like, quiet and nice, but it's like he barely did anything, he barely said anything, he just kind of died, you know? He just kind of died. Like, one of the first deaths from, well, he was the first death from the group, wasn't he? I think, yeah. But obviously, because the trailer showed us the new boyfriend's death, we knew how he died. But yeah, that was annoying though. But it was interesting trying to figure out who killed who out of, like, Stevie and Ray though. I feel like most of them you couldn't really tell who the killer was, because you just didn't know where Ray or her were. You know what I mean? Like, I think the one at the one at her house, right? The one at that house, the Milo one, that would make sense to be Stevie, because she just left before that. You know what I mean? She, like, just had left. Otherwise, Ray was, like, messaging her to say that he was here to get out of there, maybe. I don't know. Like, it's very interesting. Like, also, the fact that he shot her, but she didn't actually die, so that must have been, like, not a real gun or something. I don't really know. But, like, the fact that, you know, the fact that he did that was kind of crazy. But, yeah, I kind of think that the reasoning for him would have made more sense if it was, I don't know how they could have done it though, like, because obviously they needed to have somebody who was annoyed, but I think Stevie's reasoning was terrible, and I think his reasoning for helping Stevie in the first place was terrible. You know what I mean? But I feel like his actual reasoning for wanting to kill people, because this town had, like, made these, like, his friends, you know, be, like, all forgotten and stuff, like, but in bad ways, because obviously it was like a legend instead of, like, a true thing, right? It was kind of irritating in reality, that whole part was really bad. But, like, yeah, I feel like they dropped the ball in that aspect, because I was, like, my mum was thinking that it was the vicar guy or whatever his name, but obviously he died. I was thinking it wasn't him. I was thinking it was Stevie, because every single time anything happened, she was never there. You know, she was, the only one time she was there was the girl's death, that one girl's death, when obviously the other girl was in the cage. I've forgotten everyone's names apart from the ones that I actually really liked. And I did like that girl who got killed. I think she got killed first, but I did like her. But oh yeah, the second film though was kind of crazy with Jack Black. Like, why did they give him that hair? To be honest, that was kind of crazy. I wonder if that was Jack Black's first movie though, because he looked really young in that movie. He really did. 1998. I don't really know if that was his first movie, but he looked really, like, tiny there. Like, he looked really young. But yeah, I did like the second one though, because of the twist of, like, the son, you know, being whatever that guy's name was. I think he was Will or something. But I think that was kind of cool that he was, like, his son, right? And but he obviously killed his son, and then she killed him. So that guy's never coming back, you know, Ben Willis. He's never coming back because he's dead. I wonder if that's why he called him Will. Because had his name be Will, maybe because it's Willis, right? But then, because he can't be called Will Willis, right? That would be terrible. That would be a terrible name. Anyway, so we're moving on from that to Superman. So let me just do this so that I know where I am. But yeah, so let's go to Superman. So I've written quite a few things about this. So I love the overall storyline. I think that the movie was really good. I think the fact that it just got straight into it, you know, like, no, like, unnecessary stuff. It was just kind of like the trailer, essentially, like the first few, I don't know if I watched a thing that was a trailer, or if it was like the first few minutes of the movie. I don't know if they released something like that, or if it was just like another trailer, but obviously, like, that whole part of the first bit of the movie was all in the trailer, whatever that trailer was. So I kind of love that. My favorite character was Mr. Terrific, played by Eddie Gathegi. I don't know how to say names, sorry. But he had really cool lines, like the stuff he said, like he was just really cool. And then his powers, I don't really know most of these people. I don't know what they're supposed to be doing or what they're supposed to have. But his powers were awesome, right? The way he just did things, like honestly, he was so cool. Like at first when those three came out, you know, what were their names? Mr. No. What were their names? Green Lantern and Hawk Girl. Yeah, when they first all came out, I was like, they're a bit they're probably gonna be really rubbish, right? Because like just the way they were at first, like I know nothing about like Superman. I know nothing about any of these things, right? I've only seen random clips of the old Superman things, and I don't even know which Superman I've seen, so I really can't tell you. But like honestly, I've heard Green Lantern, you know, as a name, but I've never seen anybody who looks like Nathan Fillion playing a Green Lantern, right? Obviously, like if I'm thinking about these things reality wise, I've seen The Big Bang Theory and I've seen some of these names before because of this aspect, right? But when I was like listening to what they were saying, like when that guy was like saying about, and that news guy, he was like saying their names and stuff, I was thinking somebody was called Hawk something, and I was like, who's, like when I was thinking about that, I was just thinking about Hawkeye, and obviously that's not right because that's not the same universe, I don't think. So her name was Hawk Girl. Very interesting. So they're not related at all, because obviously they're not, they don't look anything alike in terms of like his Hawkeye thing is a whole different thing. He don't really look like a hawk, and then she literally looks like a hawk when she's, you know, she's literally Hawk Girl. So I don't know if there's like a hawk guy, a hawk adult, a hawk man, or what, but like honestly she was kind of cool though. But yeah, he was definitely my favorite, Mr. Terrific. Like as I say, I just loved everything about his parts. Like every single time he was on the screen, I was just living for it, you know what I mean? And then there was that funny scene where he was like to Superman, he was just like, hurry up, we've got, you know, stuff to do. And then Superman just like laid back down. That was funny, bro. Loved Nicholas Hoult as Lex. He was a freaking amazing, bro. Like I have known Nicholas Hoult since Skins. Actually, what was that? There was that movie he was in with when he was like a baby child, and he was what's his name? Hugh Grant, right? Oh my god, I forgot what his. I forgot what the all about a boy or something like that. I don't know what I forgot what the movie is, but he was also in that. So technically I probably would have, I think I saw Skins first though, but obviously he was in that, and he was also in The Boy. No, that's not him, is it? No, that's somebody else. Never mind. I was going to say The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, but that's not him, that's somebody else. So that's Asa, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, he was absolutely amazing. We've been seeing Nicholas a lot in different movies, and honestly every single movie he's been in so far, he's been amazing. He really seems to know how to choose these movies that he does, because he's just amazing. I don't really know, like I watched this video that was about saying who like the best Lex Luthors were in like on YouTube before I even watched Superman, like ages ago. I don't know, and I didn't realize that Jesse Eisenberg played a Lex Luthor as well. I don't know what he played it in, but it seems like he was like one of the lower ranking ones. I don't really know, I don't really remember how low he ranked, but like it didn't seem like he was that popular. Although Jesse Eisenberg would be a very interesting Lex Luthor, because the way that Nicholas played Lex Luthor, like I don't really know what Lex Luthor's supposed to do. Like I'm assuming obviously he's supposed to be an antagonist, but he seems to literally just hate Superman, right? He doesn't seem to have like an actual reason to hate him. He just actually just hates him. Like he just literally hates him, and that's it. which I kind of love even more. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I kind of love the fact that he just hates him for no reason. And then he what's it called? But Jesse Eisenberg is like the type that it'd be really interesting to see what his version was. Like, I would like to have seen that. And obviously there's the one that is like the really popular one that even Nicholas Hoult was talking about when he was saying like how he tried to do his. But I think it's very interesting, right? I think he did amazing. Like, I'm surprised because like so many people were saying like when they first watched it, right, that they're like all over Twitter and stuff, that their favorite part was Lex Luthor, right? Now my favorite character is what's his name again? Mr. Terrific. But Lex Luthor, every single scene he had, you could feel the hatred he had for Superman. Like, even in the end, even in that ending like scene of him looking at Superman, right, you could see the hate that he still had for him, even after that dog had like whipped him around everywhere, every which way. Absolutely insane. Like, he's amazing. I just love Nicholas. Loved Eve. Sarah Sampio. She was kind of dumb but smart. Like, the fact that she took those like selfies, but she took them like in front of the things that she needed to send to him. It was kind of hilarious. I just kind of loved her dynamic with Jimmy. I straight away, as soon as Jimmy said that he had like a lead, I was thinking who is it? And I was thinking, oh my god, it's her, because the way she was typing, like they showed like the messages, right, and they showed how the person typed. It was so obviously going to be her because of the way this person typed, right? You just know, you know what I mean? Like, I just knew. So I even told my mom, I was like, it's definitely going to be her. It makes so much sense. But she's literally the reason why he got caught, you know what I mean? She's literally the reason, because they like published it, you know what I mean? But yeah, her obsession with Jimmy was hilarious. And Jimmy was played by Skylar Gisondo, but he is in so many other things as well, and I absolutely love him. I forgot what it's called, the Santa Clarita diet thing. Like, he was in that. Obviously that got cancelled, but he was amazing in that. I've seen him in so many other things too, but I've forgotten what they are. Bradley Cooper being in this as just the dad was kind of crazy. I also recognised who the mum was, but I couldn't find out what her name was. I don't really know if I just couldn't recognise her in the cast list, so I couldn't like find her. But like, yeah, I recognised her as well. But it was kind of crazy, like seeing them both just like in that thing, and then the only thing he had to do was literally just, I don't know what language obviously they were talking in. I'm assuming it's a made up language, because obviously it's from like Krypton, I forgot. But anyway, Metamorpho, played by Anthony Carrigan. I recognized his voice straight away. When he started talking, I was like, oh my god, I know who that is, but I couldn't tell, you know what I mean, because he's covered in makeup. So I couldn't tell. But he was my favorite character in Death of a Unicorn. So, I looked everybody up after this. But he was freaking amazing. I loved like him just trying to get that baby back. Like the fact that he couldn't hold the baby, like Superman had to take the baby until the very end, until they finally got out. That was kind of crazy. But yeah, that whole scene in that place honestly was amazing. When they were with the sun thing that he made, like that light that he made, and all that stuff, like the fact that he was saying like hydrogen, all these things to make the light and stuff. That was honestly so freaking cool. I freaking loved his character though. Like, he still came back. Like, I was expecting him to die if he came back, but he obviously didn't die, which was kind of cool. And the fact that he agreed with the name being cool, like, I forgot the name, but it was like that running joke. The Green Lantern guy, Nathan Fillion wanted that name. So funny, bruh. Millie Alcock as Supergirl was awesome. Like, her just coming in, like that was so crazy, to be honest. Like, just the way she just showed up, and the way she was just like, the door's in the wrong place, and I don't know, that's just so funny. And then the dog being hers, and the dog just keeping on attacking her, like just jumping on her. Like, obviously it wasn't attacking her, it was just jumping all over her. That was hilarious. Nathan Fillion, yes, the Green Lantern was awesome. Isabella Merced as Hawk Girl, yeah, I recognised her. Like, I was trying to figure out before she took her mask off who she was, and I finally worked it out after she kept talking more, you know, because at first I was like, who is that? Do I recognise who that could be? At first I didn't know who it was, and then I was like, it's that girl from Barbie, isn't it? And then obviously I was wrong. I was thinking it was her at first, and then it wasn't. I was just trying to like recognise the voice, because obviously it was somebody that I knew, but the only girls I could think of were her and her were those two, and I couldn't tell who it was. But yeah, it was Isabella. That was awesome though. David Karen Sweat. This was the first time I'd ever seen him in anything, and he was a perfect Superman for real. Like, I'd never seen him in anything else for real. Apparently he's been in loads of things like Pearl and whatever else. But yeah, he was awesome. Like, he was a really good Superman. Like, as I say, I haven't watched any actual other Supermans. Like, the only things I've seen are random scenes of Superman, and most of them weren't even including Superman. But he was like a perfect, like, Clark. Wait, am I saying it right? Clark Kent? I think that's his name, right? Anyway, whatever. I feel like I'm getting it wrong. But the fact that they didn't have any scene where, because usually, you know, when there's like a scene with like people not knowing who it is, it's like Jimmy and the boss guy, they knew that he was like Clark, right? They knew that Clark was Superman. I don't really know how, but they did. And I was waiting for that other guy to say that he didn't know it was him, and that, you know, or whatever, because that's what they did in Spider-Man, you know, with that other guy who was always bullying Peter but like loved Spider-Man. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I also didn't realise that Rachel Brosnahan was, I think she was the wife of in the Amateur, Mr. Amateur, whatever it's called, you know, Rami Malek. I think she was his wife, right? I'm pretty sure that was the only time. I think that's the only film I've ever seen her in, though. I don't think I've seen her in anything else. So this was technically, essentially the first time I've seen her, because she kind of died straight away. You know what I mean, in that movie. So I feel like you can't really count that as her actually being there, can you? I don't really know. But I absolutely loved her as Lois, and I loved him as Superman and Clark. They did an amazing job, for real. I don't know if she's like the perfect Lois, but to me she seemed like she was a perfect Lois, right? I kind of loved her. Maria Gabriela de Faria as the engineer. Now, I didn't even know that her name was the engineer in this movie. I don't really know if I just blanked that out or what, but I feel like even when they said their names, like, I could never catch it right. But yeah, the fact that the other guy was just him was kind of funny. But obviously she was this Maria person. That was kind of crazy. Like, honestly, I was not expecting her to have that. Like, as soon as we saw her, right, I was not expecting her to have the powers that she has. Like, she was kind of awesome. I can't even lie. Like, as a villain, I think she was really good. I do think that her death was very interesting. Like, I think... Oh, well, she didn't actually die, did she? They said that she was just unconscious. But does... Oh, wait. So does that mean that she might be alive for the next time? Because I don't know if she was one of the people that will have been sucked into that black hole or not. You know? They didn't really make that obvious. I don't think... We definitely know that the other guy is dead, right? The clone of Superman. Like, he's gone because he went into the black hole, but I don't know if she will have done, because she may have stayed. She was just out cold, right? So she might still be alive. She might still be able to, like, she might be able to, like, break Luther out of jail or something. I don't know. I don't know really how that works, but, like, she wasn't dead. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. So that's very, very interesting. But she was amazing. Like, as her character, she was just owning that role. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's it. I freaking loved this movie. It was really good. Like, I do feel like this storyline was amazing. It was definitely better than I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, if I had to rank these movies, like, out of 10, I think I would probably give, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer made me more engaged, I think, but I think that's because like, I was so interested in the storyline of it because of the fact that, like, I'd watched the other two and I loved the other two, you know, just before, you know, like, literally a day and another day before that. So, you know, it was kind of crazy that this movie was so, like, different. But I feel like I would probably give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10. I think the only reason I'm not going to give it like a 9 or a 10 or whatever is just because I think the issue with it is just the reasoning why. I think the third act aspect, I think it's just the reasoning why. Like, Stevie and Ray just didn't really have that good reasons. Like, I think Ray would have done if he didn't have the other reason as well of, like, helping Stevie because, like, her friends did this to her. Like, that's not really that great of a reason, you know what I mean? Like, why? Like, you literally went through what you're putting these kids through. Like, it makes no sense. But anyway, obviously he went through trauma and he bonded over, like, with Stevie over the trauma that they both faced. So it kind of makes sense that, like, they both kind of were just insane. But, you know, whatever. I think I'll give Superman an 8, maybe a 9, because I love this movie. Like, I'm telling you, like, I actually loved it. Like, there was no issues for me with this movie. I think the one things I just remember is Eve and Jimmy. Like, they were just hilarious to me. Like, Mr. Electric, that's his name, right? Bruh. Oh, Terrific, bruh. I knew I was gonna get it wrong. Mr. Terrific and just everything. Lex Luthor. I feel like everything was just amazing. Like, I honestly, I like, every time Lex Luthor was just there, I was just having a great time. Like, as soon as he showed up, I was like, ooh, oh my god, Nicholas. You know what I mean? Like, I was just living. I really was. I want to see people's reactions to this for real. This will be so cool. Honestly. It'd be so freaking cool to watch people watch this show. I mean, this movie. But anyway, goodbye.
That was a lot of, like, nonsense.
Can but be kidding.